So today I am going to present you a class on vertebral column and vertebra. Now you all know in your class 12 examination that the number of vertebra present in our body are 33, out of which cervicals are 7, 12 thoracic, 5 lumbar and 5 sacral, 4 coccygeal vertebrae. So these are the numbers of vertebrae present in our body. Sometimes the coccygeal vertebrae are 3 to 5 in numbers, may present in different individuals. Now, why we want to understand the vertebrae? Because being a vertebrate mammal, we have these extra features in our skeletal system. Now, what is the purpose of vertebral column? The vertebral column will transfer the weight of our body to the leg. Now, the vertebral column presents with two curvatures. One is primary curvature, another one is secondary curvature. Now, primary curvatures are present at the level of thoracic and sacral, and the secondary curvature present at the level of cervical and the lumbar region. Now, what is primary curvature? The primary curvature present in the intrauterine line when the fetus is within the mother's womb, and that curvature is that the concavity of the spinal column is forward. So primary curvatures are curvatures with concavity forward. This one, this one. This is your anterior with concavity forward. So the primary curvatures are the curvatures with concavity forward, and the secondary curvatures are the curvatures with convexity forward. Now, this convexity is the cervical convexity, and this convexity is the lumbar convexity, and the lumbar convexity we call the lumbar lordosis. Now, the primary curvature I have already narrated that it is present within the mother's womb. So, these two curvatures develops with the age. Now, the cervical curvature develops when the child begins to hold his head, right? So, that is the age of 4 to 5 months. And the lumbar curvature appears at the age when the child begins to stand up. So, that is around 12 to 18 months of his age. Now, these two curvatures, so the total curvature of the vertebral column is like this. Now, after knowing the curvature of the vertebral column, I should continue my discussion with the individual vertebrae. Now, the vertebrae or vertebra composed of two basic parts. One is body, another one is this part. We call it the neural arch. Neural arch. Now, the neural arch composed of different parts. Why we call it neural arch? Because it surrounds the most important organ, that is our spinal cord. So that is why the name given the neural arch. Now, the neural arch composed of this part first, this part we call it pedicle, erected backwards and laterally. Then this part we call it lamina, and this part, when the two sides of the lamina fuse, form the spine. So first part is pedicle, second part is lamina, and when the two lamina fuse, form the spine. Now at the junction of lamina and pedicle, there are few processes. One is called the transverse process. Transverse process. These are the superior process or superior articular facet. Why we call it facet? Because it will take part in articulation. And the lower one is the inferior articular facets. So there are some processes which present at the junction of lamina and pedicle. One most important is the transverse process. Another two are superior and inferior articular facets. In different vertebrae there are other features, but these are the common features present in each vertebra. Right? Now we can see different features, some changes in features present in individual vertebra like cervical, thoracic, lumbar and sacral region. I will discuss it with subsequent time. Now, so I am again recapitulating that the basic part of a vertebra is composed of a body and the neural arch. Now the neural arch begins from the posterolateral aspect of the body, starting with pedicle, then lamina, then spine. Now at the junction of lamina and pedicle, there will be some processes like transverse process, superior articular facet, inferior articular facets. Now come to the body. Now body of a vertebra composed of the thick outer cell, except at the upper and lower surface of the vertebral body, which composed of the spongy tissue. Now the outer coat of the vertebral body was covered by a thick bony tissue, except the upper and the lower surface, which consists of the spongy tissue. Now each vertebra will articulate with superior and inferior vertebra, and by this part, this is called the intervertebral disc. Now intervertebral disc in between two vertebrae will subsequently form the secondary cartilaginous joint. Now the vertebral body, I have said that the superior and inferior surface composed of spongy tissue.